Hi, welcome back. My name is Cole,
And I'm Andrew.
and this is CTRL-AC.
CTRL-AC is the podcast where we talk about AI.
Again.
So does Google. I have this clip from Google I/O.
AI, generative AI.
If you can't tell, AI is a big theme in the tech world. So we had Google I/O, their yearly software event, because it's not like the Pixel event usually, although we did get 2 Pixels. It's like their dub, basically, like their software thing.
Yeah.
So we got that. We have some Twitter news, new CEO, and then we have some car stuff. Should be fun. Starting out, there's a kind of interesting story I wanted to touch on really quick. Jeffrey Hinton, who alongside 2 other people is known as the godfather of AI.
Right.
He did an interview with the New York Times, and he said, "I console myself with the normal excuse. If I hadn't done it, somebody else would have." He said, "It's hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using it for bad things," referring to AI. This was after he left Google and said that like he made a mistake making AI.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
This is interesting to think because him being, like they quoted, the godfather of AI, knowing that he also knows the dangers of it, which is terrifying.
Yeah, he won a Nobel Prize for computing.
Yeah.
And now he's like, "Yo, I messed up here." So that's not great. So with that in mind, the White House is now rolling out new policy guidance for artificial intelligence. There's a $140 million investment from the National Science Foundation for new AI research. And then the Biden administration said that they're starting to develop policies for AI. This is such a mess because now
Yeah.
we have to like make policies that regulate AI.
Which is kind of sad because it's good. This is, I don't really know what to relate it to because it's such a unique thing.
Like we've never seen something like this before.
Right.
But anyway, those 2 stories out of the way. That in mind, we'll take a quick break from AI because we have so much of it to talk about. But we want to touch on Tesla stuff and Twitter. And then there was a new Apple announcement. So anyway,
Like that.
starting with Tesla, Model S Plaid now has a track package. So Model S
We do
track
like that.
package now includes carbon ceramic brakes, better wheels and tires, and then a now unlocked top speed of 200 miles an hour.
That's so crazy to think.
So this is interesting because there's one review that comes to mind. It's the Throttle House review of the Model S Plaid. And in the video, they have their own drag strip. So Thomas launches it down their drag strip. The thing runs like a 9-second quarter mile, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's ridiculous.
This thing can do a quarter mile faster than a Prius can do a 0 to 60.
Yeah. It hits like 160 miles an hour. And then he starts running out of track. And he hits the brakes. And it starts flashing brake temperature warnings as it skids to a stop almost before hitting the grass at the end. And he basically said, this is supercar speed with the brakes of a Camry. Like, it's severely, dangerously underbraked, is what he said.
Which is bad.
Which is bad because you have a car that's so fast, but the brakes can't.
The brakes look like cast iron brake rotors.
On the first.
Yeah.
On the normal Plaid.
No, on the track package.
Oh yeah, well now they're good. Now they're like actually competent brakes. So you can hopefully stop this fourth. How heavy is the Model S Plaid? Model
gotta be
S
heavy.
Plaid. Weight. Just under 5,000 pounds. So, yeah. Let's try and stop this thing. Track package is interesting. It says $15,000 to $20,000.
So I'm assuming what this means is if you get a different tire compound, a different kind of brakes, I don't know. What would be the difference?
I don't know, because it shouldn't handle better. I guess that you can get the tires on your own. You can just upgrade your own tires.
Yeah.
So I guess you're paying 20 grand for them to put new brakes and tires on and then unlock the speed.
Yeah.
That's not a fair price, but so what now this is let's see. What does the Plaid start at? Like 120?
Yeah, I think so.
Now this is a $140,000 car. I don't know anyone who would pick this over an M5 comp if you want a 4-door sedan for the track.
But it's electric.
I guess you have to really want that battery. But if your Model S Plaid was just not fast enough, now you have this. And then turning back to Elon, Tucker Carlson is on Twitter now. So Tucker Carlson was he parted ways with Fox 2 weeks ago.
Was it 2? I think it was 2.
1 or 2 weeks ago, the same day Don Lemon left CNN. It was one of the biggest days in cable news history. And everyone's first question was, where is Tucker going to go? This guy like drives Fox's cable numbers.
Yeah.
It's the reason that they can make money off of their cable shows because of Tucker. Now he's gone, and he is now going to be posting his shows on Twitter exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon tweeted and said he'll be under the same content policies, all the fact-checking stuff that Twitter does. He'll be subject to that. But we have yet to see how monetization is going to work with this. So it's very interesting. And it kind of makes me wonder, are more people going to start turning to Twitter for like their shows, for their videos? Like, does it have a future as a video sharing platform?
I think it might just become another Instagram. It's like lookalike. Like it'll become
Where it tries to do too much?
Yeah. Like it tries to become multiple different social media platforms.
Because Instagram now is a store. It's TikTok. It's Snapchat.
Facebook.
Like it's too many things.
It's literally every single social media combined into one, except Twitter.
It's a mess. Well, no, it is Twitter. You have notes. The Instagram note thing.
Oh yeah.
It's literally everything. So I don't know. I guess the monetization part is why like YouTube creators will never go to Twitter, but
Yeah.
this is interesting.
It is interesting.
Tucker Twitter is gonna be interesting. Matt Walsh with the Daily Wire recently started posting his full podcast episodes on Twitter because YouTube gave him a channel strike.
Oof.
And immediately he would get like 5 million views on Twitter because his whole audience is already there.
Yeah.
So for people like Tucker and for Matt Walsh, who are big political names, their whole audience is already on Twitter every day.
Right.
So this may be a good move. I mean, like Mr. Beast, his audience is a bunch of kids. So he's not going to be jumping over to Twitter for videos.
Exactly.
Because it's a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
But
because kids aren't on Twitter because it's
ideally not. But this should be interesting going forward. So we'll have to see how this works out. Also new with Twitter, there is a new CEO.
Oh yeah.
So
and it's not a dog this time.
Yeah, this time it's not a dog. The dog has been fired in favor of Linda Yaccarino. She is a longtime ad executive for NBC Universal. So she has journalistic experience, which is interesting. The Verge's Alex Heath said that Yaccarino and Musk, quote, also see eye to eye politically. And which is interesting, but I guess kind of predictable. She follows on Twitter Tucker, Ben Shapiro, TPUSA, Libs of TikTok, Defeat Cricket History, Joe Rogan, Jack Sobiek, John Crist, Melania Trump. Like, she follows a lot of politically right-leaning accounts, which is interesting because Musk also has followed those accounts and has engaged with those people on Twitter before. So this should be interesting. Elon is a guy who, if you're not doing what aligns with his goal for the future, he'll fire you. It's really that simple. He has a goal for Twitter. It's to become X, the platform for everything, which he's already said. He said that Linda will take over or will lead that part of Twitter. He calls it X/Twitter. So she'll be starting in 6 weeks. And Elon said, my role will transition to being executive chair and CTO overseeing product and software development. So Elon's still running Twitter Blue.
Which is good.
And all the features there. But
we still like that Elon is part of Twitter.
Yeah.
Because, he paid like, what was it, $60 billion for it?
Yeah, so we shall see how this goes. We had an Apple announcement. This is something that's been rumored for a very long time. And it's finally here.
It's okay. I don't remember what episode it was, but we talked about, I think it was the M2 iPad. Right? They have an M2 iPad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that. And we talked about why Final Cut and Logic are not on the iPad. Well, now they are.
Here we go.
So it's a subscription service, which is interesting.
It's $4.99 a month or $50 annually to get Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro on M1 iPads and up. So if it's M1 and up, that means iPad Air can get it too, which is interesting because they've cited before that features like Stage Manager need a ton of RAM that apparently the iPad Air doesn't have, or only M1 has, but
it's an interesting...
I don't know. Apple has said that only the M1 chip is capable of Stage Manager, and apparently Stage Manager is equivalent to Final Cut.
Isn't Stage Manager like poorly optimized though?
It's just a terrible feature. I loved it for 1 week.
So bad. Yeah, you're trying to get me on that.
I loved it for 1 week. But it's M1 and up. This is really, really interesting now. Because the question is this going to jeopardize Mac sales?
Right.
And I just don't know. You have the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which is basically a 13-inch screen with a Magic Keyboard trackpad case. I'd be really interested to see just how close this is to Mac Final Cut.
Because if you have like something like the Magic Keyboard,
yeah,
because we got that from my dad for his iPad, right? And it's
the floating one.
Yeah, it's really scuffed. The trackpad is interesting. It's like a little dot on the screen.
It's very iPad-y.
Yeah,
it's all like cutesy fun experience. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's not like work focused. It's all fun.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering how this is gonna work with a smaller screen, less power, less RAM, ghetto trackpad.
Also, when I'm running Final Cut, you also have Finder for your
for all your media
gigs of media stuff. I don't know how this file management is going to work now on an iPad because the iPadOS Files app is not good.
It's not good
at all. So I don't know. Like I said, I really want to try this. I feel like we should go to an Apple store soon and try out Final Cut on iPad.
I'm down.
We'll do that, and then we'll do an update. But we'll bring some video, airdrop it there, and try it out. But I think I would still take a Mac. I mean, unless this is exceptional.
Right.
Then I just don't know. Also, with Logic Pro, a lot of people plug in a ton of instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can't do with an iPad. So I don't know. I guess my mind goes to those iPad minis. Like you'll see at a band or like a church setup, the little iPad mini on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
Now that can run Logic Pro. So maybe this is kind of useful. But we need to
Maybe.
try it out. I also don't know if it's the full experience for both. It may be like a slightly dumbed down version of both of them, I would think. So we'll see. This is going to be a huge YouTube cycle.
Yeah.
All the reviewers editing my video on iPad on Final Cut. Once again, we shall see. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we will talk about
Google I/O.
I/O and much AI.
Right.
Cole, it's really nice outside.
That is pretty nice outside, isn't it?
Mm.
My backyard's kind of boring, though.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Do you know anyone who can help me?
Actually, yes. Have you heard of the Complete Backyard?
No, I haven't. What's that?
Basically, you give them your idea for a living space, and they will design it from the ground up.
Oh.
They mock it up in a 3D render, they show it to you, they help you every step of the way, and they basically create your dream outdoor living space, whether that be a kitchen, pool, cabana, spa, water slide, pretty much whatever you want. To request a consultation, you can go to thecompletebackyard.com. So, Google had their event, Google I/O. We played the clip of Sundar saying AI 149 times.
AI.
If you can't tell,
It might have been a little bit about AI.
they
just
like
a little bit.
They like AI a little bit.
AI, generative AI, generative AI, generative AI, AI is AI.
So anyway, first thing they announced, Pixel Fold.
Hmm.
So this was leaked in a Giannis ad. So there's an ad on YouTube where Giannis just opens up his Pixel Fold, and there we go. The whole world saw it. So they had to like quickly announce this first thing, Pixel Fold. So it is a 5.8-inch phone that opens up into a 7.6-inch display. Both are OLED panels, 120 hertz, chonky bezels.
Okay, listen, about the bezels. It could be worse. I don't hate it, but it definitely could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be like the iPad bezels.
Well, iPad bezels are good except for the mini.
That's what I meant. The iPad mini bezels. For
Yeah,
like a
it's-
similar sized screen, it's not bad.
It's not terrible. It has Tensor G2, 12 gigs of RAM, 5 cameras total. Selfie on the front, selfie inside, 3 on the back. And it folds flat.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking right now at the Verge's video and the comparison between the Fold and the Z Fold 4. I don't think it's fair to compare the two, because remember that the Z Fold 4 is the fourth rendition of the Z Fold. They got
Yeah.
it terribly wrong on their first try.
Remember that whole review cycle where the YouTubers were pulling off the actual screen?
Yep. Instead of the screen protect. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, that was bad. But the problem with this phone, and it's a good phone. It looks like the Oppo Find N, like the Oppo Fold. Looks exactly like it. It's Pixel UI, and we like the Pixel UI.
We do like that.
But the problem is, it is $1,800,
Oh.
and the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is $1,800, and the Z Fold 4 is a vastly better folding experience than this
Yeah.
in terms of like multitasking and like hinge reliability, all that stuff. It's vastly better. If you're gonna buy a folding phone, buy the Z Fold 4.
Mhm.
But this has potential. And
It does.
The Pixel has always been hardware second. It's always been software experience first.
Yeah.
The problem with that here is that a Pixel has never had to have good multitasking, whereas Samsung has always had the Note. So they've always had like split screen multitasking baked into one UI.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't. Or sorry, now Google doesn't. With the Pixel, they're having to invent all this for the first time. I would take a good multitasking experience on a Pixel over One UI, because I think stock Android is really, really beautiful. But we will see. I definitely want to mess around with this at a Best Buy soon.
Yeah.
I don't
same.
know when this is going to be in stores, but I really want to see this. Again, I have in the script, problem is the Z Fold exists.
Mhm.
So the thing that's going to plague this whole review cycle is that everyone's going to compare it to that.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. We also got the Pixel tablet. So this has been rumored for quite a while. It is an 11-inch Android tablet. It looks very pixely. It has a fairly okay LCD display running Tensor G2. It looks like Chrome OS on this thing. Like the multitasking experience looks exactly like Chrome OS. So
Which isn't bad. Like Chrome OS
it's-
is it's good looking.
this is basically a touchscreen Chromebook. It
Yeah.
looks more like, this is giving me like Nexus 7 vibes. I miss that thing. My uncle had a Nexus 7.
Really?
He loved that thing. He eventually used it for like he connected it to his project car
Mhm.
and like used that for all his
That's cool.
dials and gauges and stuff. But that was like the best Google tablet ever made.
Yeah.
Now there's this. It's $500. The headlining feature is that it comes with a magnetic dock that turns this into a Google Nest Hub Max.
Oh.
So when you're done with the tablet, you snap it to this dock. It charges at 15 watts, and it like shows your photos, and it has Google Assistant.
That's cool. I didn't see that actually.
So it says it's to fight the quote dead tablet in a drawer syndrome. So it's a place to store it. You just charge it on this. You kind of keep it in your living room, I guess. And it acts as a Nest Hub. I actually don't hate this. I wish Apple would do this with an iPad. Like you could snap an iPad to a dock and
That would
have it
be really
become like
cool.
a Siri screen.
But like it's not. But like have it as an actual thing and not aftermarket.
Yeah.
That would be really cool actually.
But this is kind of nice to, I guess I'm just envisioning where you'd put this.
I feel like this would go in something like a kitchen, like have it like almost like a Echo Show or something.
Yeah.
Replacement.
I
But but that way you can pick it up and carry it around instead of having to pull the dock around. If you like have a recipe and you need to know how much of something to get from the fridge, you can just pick it up and take it with you.
Yeah, I don't.
And if it
hate
has like
this.
that AI image scanning thing, you can be like, "Can I use this for the recipe?" Boop. No. Yes.
I actually am kind of liking this. This isn't a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Should you buy this? Maybe, actually. This isn't really competing with the iPad. This isn't trying to be like a productivity, work-focused tablet. It's a Nest Hub that you can take the screen off of.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is a winning strategy.
I
I'm
do
kind
too.
of liking this. And then last hardware thing we got is Pixel 7a. In the script I have, it's the best budget phone. That's it.
Pretty much.
Pixel 7a. It is $499. Has a fingerprint scanner. Camera's really, really good. Really good software. 90 hertz screen. Wireless charging. It's fine. Has a 6.1 inch display. Bezels are kind of thick, but it has a hole punch. It's running stock Android. It's a Pixel. Great camera. Decent display. Good build quality. Good support. Probably the best budget phone you can buy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. On the software side, this is where all of the AI comes in. The biggest thing we got is Google Snapshots.
I
This-
haven't actually seen this yet, but from what I've heard, it's really good.
This is the dream that everyone has had for Google search. So we've talked about ChatGPT enough for you to know what that is,
Yeah.
pretty much. This means that when you type in something into the Google search bar, it will generate an AI response for you. So you know those little text boxes?
That's
That you
exactly
get-
what I was thinking.
Exactly. Now you will get the answer to anything you search in Google. It won't just show you a bunch of articles and you have to go work to find it yourself. Because who has time to do that?
So basically, research is dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the example they used, someone typed into Google, what's better for a family with kids under 3 and a dog? Bryce Canyon or Arches National Park?
And its response was.
And it responds with the whole thing.
Well, that's interesting.
And then it has articles under it. but whatever you ask, you just get a Bard powered response under it. So you type in like an essay question, anything you have, any question, and there's your answer. It saves you from having to go to ChatGPT or go to Bard. And then if that doesn't answer it there, you can go under it and there are the articles.
Is this going to kill ChatGPT Premium?
I'm sure. It's built into Google search. Now, I don't think they've talked about making this a subscription, but imagine if they made this Google Plus. They brought back the name
Or
Google Plus.
Or Google, like, I feel like if they did, they would just integrate it with Google One.
Google Pro?
No, they would just integrate it with Google One.
I don't know. They could sell this as Google Pro for $10 a month.
Oh, I'm sure they could.
I would probably buy this.
I don't think they would, though.
Google Pro?
Yeah.
I don't know. Their Google search is like such a, not a monopoly, because like other ones exist, but like they completely dominate the search engine market, and it's not even close. The number one Bing search is Chrome. To download, like to get off of Edge. It's kind of sad.
That is kind of sad.
But this is the dream search engine. This is what everyone has always dreamed of. Everyone's always wanted. Now it's here.
Which is cool. Because who has time for research, right?
Yeah, in the example, it says Bluetooth speaker for a pool party. The generative AI thing starts talking about factors to consider for speakers for a pool party. And then it shows a bunch of different options. JBL Flip 5, the Mega Boom 3, all the ones that we know. And then you can follow it up with the phrase under $100. And then it refilters it, redoes the answer.
So it's like the regenerate thing from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really cool. This is going to be rolling out in a couple months, which means probably longer than that because it's an experimental feature.
Is this part of that new Google Search Labs thing I saw?
Yes, you also have to be 18 to use this.
18 in
years old.
quotations.
Like I don't know why, but
Probably just because you can, well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not, because there's no age verification on Google search. So,
Well, I mean, whenever you have set up your Google account, you have to put your like age.
well, yeah.
So that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, then we got Android AI stuff. So in Android 14, wallpapers now get AI stuff. Basically, Material U, which is the whole pick your wallpaper and then it'll use the key colors to theme your whole OS. All of that is now built into Android 14.
That's
So
cool.
you have moving wallpapers and stuff all generated by AI stuff. It's everything's AI on a Pixel.
Which is scary, but also really cool at the same time.
So there's that. Wear OS 4 gets some upgrades. It's still Wear OS. It's still an Android smartwatch. It still sucks. Magic Editor is now coming to Google Photos, which I think is huge. So Magic Editor, it says it lets you entirely move where a person is in a photo. So you just drag them and move them in the photo. It
Which
uses
is-
a ton of AI.
Which probably kills battery life.
I mean, probably, but you can move people in a photo and all that. And this is coming to the Google Photos app. So it says they're coming later this year. And then it says that the Magic Editor, like people moving photo, is coming later to the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. Or at least that's the rumor. So it'll be interesting to see how this works if someone's standing in front of something. Because I don't think you can just move them. Because it would have to like know what's behind it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it'd be like the Smart Heal brush bait tool in any like video editor software or photo editor software, right?
yeah, I guess so.
Like it just uses some basic AI to figure it out.
But if there's like another person behind them,
Well, then it would know that and try to like autofill the body.
and that would be creepy.
Terrifying.
Unless it like scans your photos and tries to like match the person. If you already have that person in your photos.
That's even scarier.
Maybe what's his name? Maybe Jeffrey Hinton was right. Maybe this is a mistake. And then finally, we have an AI writer for Gmail. So
I feel like isn't this like kind of like that autofill thing that we have in Gmail and Docs and stuff
yes,
already?
but now they've said you can just send an email to my boss telling them I'll be out sick tomorrow, and it'll do it. So at this point, you don't even have to write your own emails. AI is literally everywhere, and Google is all for it. They mentioned AI 149 times. I think they're committed. That will do it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you are Linda Yaccarino and would like to sit down for an interview, you can tweet at us both. I'm at UtterlyDrew.
And I am at ColdWWWeb.
And we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.